At 36 years old, Tiana Brooks had learned how to make $20 behave like 50. She knew which grocery store marked meat down on Tuesday mornings. She knew exactly how many days she could stretch a tank of gas. She knew how to smile at her children while silently calculating which bill could wait another week. And she knew how to say, "Mama already ate," when there wasn't quite enough dinner left for all three of them. Tiana was raising 12-year-old Marcus and 7-year-old Kayla by herself in a small 2-bedroom apartment. Every morning before sunrise, she tied on an apron and worked in the cafeteria at their local elementary school. 3 nights a week, after helping her children with homework, she cleaned offices across town. By the time she got home, most nights it was nearly 11. Then she opened her laptop, because Tiana had a plan nobody could see yet. She was studying bookkeeping, not because she had extra time. She didn't. Not because she had extra money. She definitely didn't. She was doing it because she refused to believe that struggling was supposed to become her permanent address. Years earlier, she had scribbled 3 things on a yellow sheet of paper and taped it near her kitchen table. Pay off debt, build an emergency fund, start my own business. Some nights those goals looked ridiculous sitting beside past due notices, but she never took the paper down. Her children had gotten used to seeing their mother studying while they fell asleep. Kayla would sometimes wake up on the couch and find Tiana surrounded by textbooks, utility bills, notebooks, and an old calculator. One night she asked, "Mama, why are you always studying?" Tiana smiled and said, "So one day I don't have to work this hard just to stay in the same place." Kayla nodded like she understood. Maybe she did, because children notice more than adults think they do. They noticed when Tiana started cutting coupons again. They noticed when she stopped buying coffee on the way to work. They noticed when she wore the same winter coat 3 years in a row. What they didn't see were the nights she sat on the edge of her bed wondering whether determination was enough. And the people Tiana once called friends certainly didn't understand. Monique and Cheryl had known her since high school. At one time, the 3 of them did almost everything together. But as the years passed, the friendship changed. Monique had married well. Cheryl had moved into a newer neighborhood and loved letting everybody know when she bought something expensive. Tiana's life had gone another direction. Her marriage had ended. The bills stayed. The children needed her. And eventually, every invitation from her old friends started feeling like a test she couldn't afford to pass. Birthday dinners, weekend trips, brunches where everybody ordered without looking at the prices. Tiana usually declined. She always gave a polite reason: work, the kids, another commitment. But one Friday night, Monique convinced her to come to a birthday dinner. "You never come anywhere anymore," she said. "Just come out one time." So Tiana went. She wore a simple black blouse she already owned, fixed her hair, and promised herself she would order carefully. Halfway through dinner, she stepped away from the table. When she came back, she heard Monique whispering, "She always has some excuse because she can't afford nothing." Cheryl laughed. "Girl, Tiana been broke since forever." They didn't know she was standing close enough to hear them. Tiana stopped for a second, then walked back to the table and sat down. She didn't argue. She didn't embarrass anybody. She didn't even let them know she had heard. But the drive home felt longer than usual. When she reached her apartment, she went into the bathroom, turned on the shower, and cried where her children couldn't hear her. Not because they called her broke. She already knew she was struggling. What hurt was realizing that people who knew how hard she worked could still find her pain entertaining. The next morning, Tiana opened her laptop and kept studying. That became her answer to almost everything. When she was embarrassed, she studied. When she was exhausted, she studied. When a bill scared her, she studied. When somebody made her feel small, she studied. She wasn't chasing revenge. She was chasing options. For almost a year, she balanced cafeteria shifts, cleaning jobs, motherhood, and bookkeeping classes. Then one Thursday evening, it all seemed to collapse at once. Tiana had stopped at the grocery store after work. She loaded the bags into her aging gray sedan, climbed behind the wheel, and turned the key. Nothing. She tried again. A click, then silence. She closed her eyes. No, not today. She tried one more time. Nothing. The mechanic had warned her months earlier that the car wouldn't last forever, but forever wasn't what Tiana needed. She just needed another 6 months. She checked her bank account, $63.14. Rent was due in 9 days. Her cleaning job was 12 miles away, and now her car was sitting dead in a grocery store parking lot. Tiana got out, leaned against the car, and covered her face. For a few minutes, she allowed herself to fall apart. She thought about the women laughing at dinner. She thought about the bills on her table. She thought about how many years she had been telling herself things would eventually get easier. And for the first time, she whispered, "I don't know how I'm going to do this." Nobody answered. So the next morning, she got up and did it anyway. 2 buses to work. Another bus to pick up the children. Then the final 6 blocks on foot with grocery bags cutting into her fingers. Marcus carried Kayla's backpack. Kayla held Tiana's hand. Nobody complained. When they finally reached the apartment, Tiana unlocked the door and looked at her children. "Give me a minute, then we'll figure out dinner." Marcus looked at her and said, "We always figure it out." Tiana smiled. That one almost made her cry again. 3 days later, someone knocked on her apartment door. It was a Saturday afternoon, and Tiana wasn't expecting anyone. She looked through the peephole. A woman in a dark business suit stood outside holding a leather portfolio. Beside her was an older man. Tiana opened the door only a few inches. "Yes?" The woman smiled politely. "Are you Tiana Renee Brooks?" Tiana hesitated. "Yes." "Were you adopted as a child?" Tiana's expression changed immediately. Very few people knew that. She had been adopted when she was 3 years old. Her parents had loved her deeply and never hid the truth from her, but they didn't know much about her biological family. Tiana had once tried searching. The records were difficult to access. Names didn't match. Years passed. Eventually, she stopped looking. "Who are you?" she asked. The woman handed Tiana a business card. "My name is Rebecca Lawson. I'm working with an estate attorney. We've been trying to locate you for almost 3 years." Tiana stared at her. "Locate me for what?" The older man opened the folder he was carrying. "May we come inside?" A few minutes later, the same kitchen table that usually held overdue bills was covered in estate documents. Rebecca placed an old photograph in front of Tiana. A black woman, probably in her late 60s, stared back from the picture. Tiana picked it up. She said nothing. The woman had her eyes, the same cheekbones, even the little dimple Tiana saw every morning in the mirror. "Her name was Evelyn Carter," Rebecca said. "She was your biological grandmother." Tiana's hands tightened around the photograph. Rebecca explained that Evelyn had spent years trying to locate the granddaughter who had been placed for adoption. She hired investigators twice. She contacted agencies. She saved old paperwork. But Tiana's name had changed after the adoption. Some records were sealed, and several relatives who might have helped connect them had already died. Evelyn never found her. But she never stopped looking. Before she died, she left specific instructions in her will. If her granddaughter could ever be identified and located, a portion of her estate belonged to her. Tiana stared at Rebecca. "So she knew I existed?" Rebecca nodded. "She knew, and she wanted you found." That sentence hit harder than anything else. Tiana had spent most of her life assuming the people she came from had simply disappeared. She had wondered whether anybody had ever looked for her, whether anybody remembered, whether she had mattered to people whose names she didn't even know. Now, sitting at a scratched kitchen table in an apartment she could barely afford, she learned that an old woman she had never met had spent years trying to bring her home. Then came the part Tiana still couldn't process. Evelyn had owned several acres of land outside the city. Years earlier, the property hadn't been worth much, but development had expanded into the area. After Evelyn's death, the property was sold. There was also a paid-off home, investment accounts, savings, and funds that remained in the estate while attorneys searched for the missing heir. Tiana listened quietly. Finally, she asked, "How much are we talking about?" The attorney looked at her. "After expenses, taxes, and the distributions already made to other heirs, your portion is estimated at a little over $1.8 million. Tiana laughed once, a short, confused laugh. Then she looked around her kitchen as if somebody might step out and explain the joke. "I have $63. Nobody spoke. My car just broke down. Rebecca's eyes softened. "I understand." "No," Tiana said, shaking her head. "I don't think I understand." Then she cried. Not the quiet tears she cried in the bathroom after that dinner. Not the exhausted tears from the grocery store parking lot. These were different. Relief, grief, disbelief, and something else. For the first time in her life, Tiana was grieving a grandmother she had never gotten the chance to meet. A week later, she received copies of several things Evelyn had kept. Old investigator invoices, notes, names, dates, and one handwritten letter. The letter had never been addressed because Evelyn never knew where to send it. It began, "To my granddaughter, wherever you are." Tiana couldn't finish it the first time. She folded it carefully and put it away. The money changed Tiana's circumstances almost immediately, but it didn't change Tiana. She paid every overdue bill. She paid off debt. She fixed her credit. She bought a dependable car. Not the luxury car everybody expected. A dependable one. She opened college accounts for Marcus and Kayla. She built an emergency fund large enough that a broken transmission would never again feel like the end of the world. Then her accountant asked something that surprised her. "What do you want to do now?" Tiana already knew. "Finish what I started." She completed her bookkeeping certification. People thought she was crazy. "You're a millionaire now. Why are you still studying?" Because Tiana understood something they didn't. The inheritance had given her money. The struggle had given her discipline. And she wasn't throwing either one away. 6 months later, Brooks Bookkeeping opened with 3 clients. Tiana worked from a small, rented office. She hired one employee, then another. Within 2 years, the company was handling accounts for dozens of local businesses. But Tiana didn't stop there. She remembered what it felt like to want something better while having almost no room to build it. So she purchased a small commercial property. Her company occupied 1 suite. Several others were rented below market rate to women starting businesses of their own. Single mothers, women rebuilding after divorce, women working second jobs, women with good ideas and thin bank accounts. Tiana never asked them to prove how badly they had struggled. She already understood. Then one evening, Tiana attended a local business networking event. She had almost forgotten about the birthday dinner years earlier. Almost. Across the room stood Monique and Cheryl. They recognized her immediately. Tiana was no longer wearing the coat they remembered. Her business name was printed on the badge hanging around her neck. Founder and CEO. Monique's eyes widened. Cheryl whispered something. Funny how familiar that looked. A few minutes later, Monique approached. "Tiana?" Tiana turned. "Hey, girl, look at you. I heard you're doing really well." "I am. We should get together sometime. It's been forever." Years earlier, Tiana would have wanted that invitation. She would have wondered if they finally respected her. Now she didn't need the answer. Tiana smiled. "I wish you both well." Then she walked away, not because she had become too good for them, but because somewhere between the buses, the cleaning supplies, the past due notices, the bookkeeping lessons, and the $63 in her bank account, Tiana had finally learned the difference between people who celebrate you and people who only respect you after other people do. Everyone who met Tiana later saw the business owner, the inheritance, the office, the employees, the woman who had finally made it, but the money didn't create her. It arrived after the hardest work had already begun. Before the inheritance, Tiana had already gotten up every morning, already raised her children, already studied after midnight, already swallowed humiliation, already walked home carrying groceries, already decided she would not stay where life had dropped her. Her grandmother left her $1.8 million, but the most valuable thing Tiana ever owned was something no estate could give her: the ability to keep going when there was absolutely no evidence that life was about to change. And maybe that's why she knew exactly what to do when it finally did.